We need to talk. I stare at my phone like the words were a physical blow. My heart skipped, then thudded painfully against my ribs. That was her message. Simple, direct, no preamble, no context. Just those 5 words that carried a weight I couldn't yet comprehend. I'd been home from work for hours, waiting for her like any normal evening. I thought she was caught up with errands or visiting her sister, the usual mundane stuff. But those words, they made my chest tighten, and an unease began to creep in. I replied, hesitating, fingers trembling slightly. "What's wrong?" Minutes passed. No reply. I tried calling, and it went straight to voicemail. I tried again. Nothing. A cold knot formed in my stomach. I told myself it was just stress, maybe something trivial, but a small voice whispered that it was more than that. The days leading up to that text had been subtly off, but I had dismissed them. She'd started answering late, sometimes not at all, laughing a little too nervously at her phone when it buzzed, canceling plans with vague excuses. I'd assumed it was exhaustion, work stress, maybe even boredom, but now, in hindsight, every little oddity felt like a flashing warning I'd ignored. Her confession came later that evening. She walked in, avoiding my eyes, holding her phone like a shield. Her hands trembled slightly. I made a mistake," she said quietly. My chest tightened. My mind raced. "Mistake? What do you mean, mistake?" She swallowed, as if she needed time to gather courage. I wasn't faithful. I didn't mean for it to happen. Her voice cracked. She stopped, looking anywhere but at me. I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. My mind went numb. 1,000 thoughts collided, each more painful than the last. How long? Who? Why? I couldn't even formulate the questions. The words stuck like shards in my throat. For a moment, I just stared. And then came the images, the subtle signs I had ignored. The phone always face down. The scent of perfume that wasn't mine. The evenings when she came home smiling but distant, distracted. I remembered all the little moments that seemed harmless but now screamed betrayal. She tried to explain, her voice small and trembling. It was just once. It didn't mean anything. I was lonely. I didn't think. I made a terrible mistake, and I am so sorry. The room felt cold. I could hear my own heartbeat, sharp and accusing. My hands were shaking. I wanted to scream, to hit something, to break everything around me. But I didn't. I couldn't move. I was frozen between disbelief and the raw, searing ache of betrayal. Questions swirled in my head. Was it just once? Did she feel guilty because she got caught or because she actually regretted it? How many memories we shared, how many nights I thought we were close, had they all been lies? I couldn't speak. My chest felt tight, my throat dry. Every memory of her, the way she laughed, the mornings we shared coffee, the quiet nights in the living room, was suddenly coated in doubt. I realized how fragile trust is, how easily it can crumble into dust, leaving nothing behind but echoes. I needed to see evidence. My hand shook as I reached for her phone, my fingers hovering, uncertain. She flinched, tears brimming. She didn't stop me. I scrolled through messages, brief exchanges, casual and innocent to anyone else, but each word cut me to the core. Names I didn't recognize, excuses that made my blood run cold. I wanted to scream at her, demand answers, lash out, but instead I felt a numbness descend, a deep, hollow pain that made me question everything I believed about love, honesty, and our life together. She sat there, quietly weeping. I watched her, the person I loved and trusted, unraveling in my presence. And even in that moment, I felt the pull between lingering love and the searing pain of betrayal. Part of me wanted to comfort her. Part of me wanted to turn and walk away forever. Finally, I spoke, my voice raw but controlled. I need time. I can't just pretend this didn't happen. She nodded silently, tears spilling freely now. I could see regret etched into every line of her face. She wasn't a villain, just a person who made a choice I couldn't reconcile with. That night, I walked through the apartment, memories assaulting me from every corner. The couch where we had our first movie night, The kitchen where we'd laughed over burnt pancakes. Now, they were relics of something that felt partly unreal. The love was there, but the betrayal had poisoned it, leaving only a fragile shell. In the following days, we talked. She apologized over and over, with a sincerity I couldn't ignore, but couldn't fully accept. I listened, sometimes through tears, sometimes through silence. She tried to explain loneliness, temptation, regret, but words could not undo actions. I realized healing wouldn't be instant. Trust, once shattered, requires painstaking rebuilding or acceptance that it may never return. I had to confront my own feelings, anger, sorrow, grief, and a lingering love that refused to vanish overnight. Eventually, I found a kind of closure, not in reconciliation, not in forgiveness, but in reclaiming my sense of self. I set boundaries, protected my heart, and allowed myself to grieve the relationship I thought I had. I remember the good moments not as proof of love, but as reminders of my capacity to care deeply. One quiet evening, weeks later, she and I sat across from each other, a fragile truce hanging between us. No words could repair what was broken, but a silent understanding settled in. We were human, capable of mistakes, capable of heartbreak. And I realized something crucial. Self-respect and inner strength are built in moments like these, where pain teaches you who you are beyond betrayal. I don't hate her. I don't despise the life we shared. But I've learned that love cannot thrive on deceit. And sometimes the hardest choices, to leave, to forgive, to rebuild, are also the ones that preserve your dignity. I left that night with a quiet resolve. Life goes on. The pain lingers, but so does the knowledge that I survived it. I will always carry a shadow of what was, but I also carry the strength I never knew I had, the strength to face betrayal, heartbreak, and still find my way forward.